There's a heaviness in your chest that won't leave. Not anxiety, not sadness, something deeper, something you can't name. Like you're carrying a weight that doesn't belong to you, but you can't put it down. You wake up, and the first thought isn't about what you need to do today. It's a question, a quiet, persistent question that follows you everywhere. Is this it? Is this really my life? And before you can answer, you're already moving, getting ready, going through the motions, playing the part. But that question lingers, because something inside you knows that the life you've been living, the version you've been maintaining, the person you've been pretending to be, is ending. Not someday, right now. And this video finding you in the middle of that ending isn't coincidence. It's the final message, the last thing you need to hear before your old life officially, irreversibly, completely dies. Let me tell you what's actually happening to you. Your old life isn't transforming. It isn't upgrading. It isn't shifting into something better. It's dying, actively, right now. Every structure that held your old identity together is collapsing. Every habit that defined you is breaking down. Every relationship built on who you used to be is dissolving. And you feel it. That exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. That numbness where excitement used to be. That disconnect from everything that used to matter. You thought something was wrong with you. You thought you were broken, depressed, burned out. But you're not. You're dying. Not physically, but the version of you that's been navigating this life for years, maybe decades. That version is in its final hours. And the terror you feel isn't about what's ending. It's about what comes after. Because you don't know. You can't see it. You can't control it. All you know is that who you've been is disappearing, and you're trying desperately to hold on. Here's what nobody tells you about transformation. Real transformation isn't gentle. It isn't gradual. It isn't this beautiful unfolding where you slowly become better. Real transformation is death. Complete, total, irreversible death. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean biologically. Let me show you. When a caterpillar enters a chrysalis, it doesn't grow wings. It doesn't slowly transform. It dissolves completely. Every cell breaks down. The entire structure liquefies into biological soup. If you cut open a chrysalis mid-transformation, you wouldn't find a caterpillar with wings sprouting. You'd find unrecognizable liquid, primordial goo, no legs, no body, no identity, just cellular soup waiting to reorganize into something entirely different. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly. The caterpillar dies completely. And from that death, from that total dissolution, something new forms. Something that bears no resemblance to what died. That's where you are right now. You're not upgrading. You're liquefying. And every part of your old structure, every piece of your old identity, is breaking down into soup. And it feels exactly like death because it is. Now here's why you're suffering. Here's why the dissolution feels unbearable instead of natural. You're trying to stay solid. You're trying to hold your shape. You're trying to keep being the caterpillar while your cells are already breaking down. And the more you fight it, the more you try to maintain who you were, the more painful the process becomes. Because dissolution doesn't need your permission. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't stop because you're scared. It just happens. Your old life is ending. Whether you accept it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you're prepared or not, the chrysalis has already formed around you. The breakdown has already begun. And you can spend this time fighting, clinging, trying desperately to hold on to the solid shape that's already liquefying. Or you can surrender. You can let the caterpillar die. You can stop trying to save something that's supposed to dissolve. Let me show you what this looks like in your actual life. That job you've been forcing yourself to care about. The one that used to give you purpose but now feels like a prison. That's part of the old structure dissolving. That relationship where you're performing instead of being yourself. Where you're maintaining a version they're comfortable with instead of who you actually are. That's dissolving too. Those goals you wrote down last year that suddenly feel irrelevant, like they belong to someone else. They do. They belong to the caterpillar, and the caterpillar is dying. Those friendships where you leave feeling drained instead of energized. Those routines that used to work but now require conscious effort. Those identities you built your life around that suddenly don't fit anymore. All of it is part of the old structure breaking down. And you've been interpreting this as failure, as something wrong with you, as proof you're going backwards. But you're not failing, you're dissolving. And dissolution is required. It's not optional, it's not punishment, it's process. And the butterfly can't form until the caterpillar is completely, utterly, totally gone. Here's the part that's gonna hurt. You can't save the caterpillar. You can't go back. You can't reverse the dissolution. You can't wake up tomorrow and decide to be who you were last year. That version doesn't exist anymore. The cells have already started breaking down. The structure has already started collapsing. And every minute you spend trying to resurrect the old version, trying to piece together an identity that's already liquefying, you delay what's trying to form. Because here's what happens in the chrysalis. The caterpillar cells dissolve first, completely. And only after that total death do the butterfly cells activate. They're called imaginal cells, and they've been dormant inside the caterpillar the entire time, waiting. But they can't activate while the caterpillar structure is still intact. The caterpillar has to die first, fully. Then, and only then, the imaginal cells wake up. They start organizing. They start building something new, something that couldn't exist while the old structure was still standing. That's what's happening inside you right now. Your imaginal self is waiting. The blueprint for who you're becoming already exists, but it can't activate while you're clinging to who you were. The old life has to end completely, and you're in the final stage of that ending. Now let me tell you why this video found you. You're not at the beginning of dissolution, you're at the end. The old structure is almost completely broken down. The old identity is almost entirely liquefied. You're in the final hours before your old life officially ends. And you needed to hear this. You needed to know that what you're feeling isn't wrong. That the heaviness, the numbness, the exhaustion, the disconnection, it's not failure, it's death. The death of who you had to be to survive until now. And that death is necessary. It's required. It's the only way the butterfly forms. But here's what you also needed to know. The dissolution is almost complete. You're closer to the other side than you think. Closer than your exhaustion makes you believe. Closer than your numbness suggests. The old life is in its final moments. And what's about to activate, what's about to organize, what's about to emerge from the soup you've become, isn't something you can plan for. It's not something you can predict. It's not something you can control. It's just something you have to trust. Trust that the imaginal cells know what they're doing. Trust that the blueprint exists. Trust that dissolution leads to formation. Trust that the caterpillar's death isn't the end of the story. Here's what surrender actually looks like. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It doesn't mean giving up. It means stopping the fight to stay solid. It means releasing your grip on the old shape. It means letting the caterpillar die instead of trying to keep it alive. Practically, that looks like this. Stop forcing the old motivation. Stop trying to care about things that don't resonate anymore. Stop maintaining relationships where you're performing. Stop chasing goals that belong to your old identity. Stop pretending the old version still exists. Just stop. Let it go. Let it dissolve. Let it end. And in that stopping, in that surrender, something strange happens. The dissolution accelerates, not because you're giving up, but because you're finally not fighting. You're finally allowing what's supposed to happen to actually happen. And when you stop using all your energy trying to hold a shape that's already broken down, that energy becomes available for what's forming, for the imaginal cells, for the new blueprint, for the butterfly organizing in the soup you've become. Now here's the roadmap. Here's what happens next. The heaviness gets heavier before it lifts. The numbness gets deeper before feeling returns. The disconnection becomes total before reconnection begins. Because you're in the final stage, the darkest part of the chrysalis, the moment before the caterpillar is completely gone and the butterfly hasn't formed yet. It's dark. It's disorienting. You can't see what you're becoming, but you'll feel a shift. Not external, internal. You'll feel the imaginal cells activate. It won't be loud, it won't be dramatic. It'll be a quiet knowing, a gentle pull towards something you can't name yet, a curiosity about something you haven't tried, a desire for something you've been ignoring. That's the blueprint activating. That's the new structure beginning to form. And when you feel that pull, don't question it. Don't analyze it. Don't try to make it fit into your old framework. Just follow it. Because that pull isn't random. It's the butterfly beginning to emerge. And emergence doesn't ask permission. It just happens. Naturally, inevitably, when the dissolution is complete. If you're reading this and something just broke open, if you finally understand what's been happening, if you recognize yourself as the caterpillar in the final hours of dissolution, drop 3 words in the comments. I'm dissolving now. That's it. 3 words. Because naming where you are removes the terror. You're not breaking down randomly. You're dissolving purposefully. And if you know someone in the chrysalis, someone trying to stay solid while they're liquefying, someone who needs to hear that their old life ending isn't failure, it's transformation, share this with them. Tell them to write it too. I'm dissolving now. Because sometimes we need permission to stop fighting, permission to let the old life die, permission to trust that something's forming in the darkness, even though we can't see it yet. Subscribe to stay connected to this community. And if Super Thanks feels aligned, it helps these messages reach more people who need them. But whether you support or not, the fact that you're here, doing the work, choosing yourself, that's what this is all about. Thank you. I'm proud of you. The truth is, the caterpillar never sees the butterfly. It doesn't get to know what it becomes. It doesn't get a preview. It doesn't get certainty. It just has to dissolve completely in the dark, without knowing if anything comes after. And you're the caterpillar right now, in the final stage of dissolution. Everything you were is breaking down. Everything familiar is disappearing. Everything solid is liquefying. And you're terrified because you can't see what's forming. You can't control what emerges. You can't guarantee it'll be better than what's ending. But here's what I can tell you. The butterfly doesn't happen without the soup. The new life doesn't form without the old one completely dying. And your old life is almost gone. The structure is almost entirely dissolved. The imaginal cells are almost ready to activate. And when they do, when the butterfly finally forms, you won't remember why you fought so hard to stay the caterpillar. You won't understand what you were trying to save. You'll only see what you became. And it won't resemble what died. Not even slightly. Your old life doesn't end when you're ready. It ends when the dissolution completes. And the dissolution is almost done. Stop trying to stay solid. You're already soup. Let the caterpillar die. The butterfly is waiting.